it looks less like a luchador mask and more like a gimp mask.
That sounds right.
On this episode of DC On Screen, Joker hits the $1 billion club. We have a very, very telling Birds of Prey synopsis. The 12th Doctor will have a big role in the Suicide Squad. Plus, Black Adam's release date, and the future of Titans, and so much Crisis. And a Harley Quinn trailer. There's a lot. There's a lot happening.
Yeah, big week. Let's do it.
I'm David C. Robertson. This is my custy tro-host, Jason Goss.
That's called a spoonerism.
Is it?
Yep. Switch the front letters of two words accidentally.
Okay. Well, yeah, I can deal with that. This is DC On Screen, where we discuss the DC Comics multiverse on film and television. I'm going to start doing the spoonerisms now.
Do the entire episode.
Trying to stop.
Yeah.
We give honest opinions on projects upcoming and past, and believe that every version of a property is valid, even if we don't want it to be. If it's been released, it is fair game. So beware of spoilers, and welcome to the show. Today is a hard day. I'm getting sick.
Nice. It's a good start.
And I've had maybe 3.5 hours of sleep over the last 2 days.
Okay. Well, that's,
Yeah. So I'm not going to be all here, apparently. Like, I'm already spoonerisming it up.
Yeah.
Is that a word? Spoonerism. Anyway.
We're gonna let it slide.
Thank you.
You get a few extras today.
Bless you. Bless you, Goss.
No condemnation for a man on 2 hours sleep.
All right. So, if you would like to support our little endeavor here and get some free content along the way, patreon.com/DC on screen. We have a $1 tier where you get every episode ad free. And then we have a $5 tier where you get every episode ad free, and then you get extra episodes. You get little chasing squirrel segments where we just, things that I cut out of the episodes where we talk about, silly shit that has nothing to do with anything, or very tangentially has anything to do with what we're actually speaking about on the show, as well as warm-ups and also Jason's pull list. You just what did you just post?
The last of the Deceased series.
Oh.
Yeah. The DC zombie world.
I keep seeing stuff about that and thinking, it's not my thing.
Well, I like zombies as a genre, but this thing was fun.
Good. And you said that they figured out a way to make that canon within the universe?
Well, kind of. There's a thing going on with Justice League right now where they say not to mess with Freak Witch Earth. They said don't mess with Earth. So-and-so's Batman. He's kind of bitey.
That's great.
And in the first issue of Deceased, he's gone. They kill everybody.
That's fun.
I mean, it's bad.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we got some Apple Podcast reviews. We're up to 79 now. We're trying to get to 100 by the end of the year. So come on, guys.
We literally can't do it without you.
Lisa gives us 5 stars. She's from the I Love That Movie podcast. I just did an episode with her yesterday where we talked about High Fidelity, which is one of my favorite movies. Also one of my favorite books. I had a great time over there talking about that movie with her. She gives us 5 stars, says, great podcast and host. DC On Screen is a great podcast for DC fans. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
And JD Batfan95 gives us 5 stars and says, one of the goats. Now this I absolutely appreciate this review. I'm a little confused. I know what goats mean. Right?
I was going to say, because it came from sports, I think. Surely you know what goat means now.
I know it from the internet.
Yeah, it's divested itself enough, I think.
And, if he still means greatest of all time.
Well, that's quite flattering.
It's quite flattering. However, the review itself starts to read like, something a passive-aggressive mother might say. DC On Screen is a podcast full of some of the greatest antics known to mankind. Now, we can let that slide because, there's humorous material maybe.
Sure.
But, it feels a little, I read it and I first thought, are we shock jocks? Are we like Man on the Street? Are we Billy on the Street? Billy Eichner? Like, what's happening?
At this point, I feel like you should have read it and thought, I need to go to bed.
Yes, very much so. He says, if you want to listen to two guys babble on, parentheses, like I do.
Yeah.
Then this is the podcast for you.
Oh, yeah. Bah.
What?
I don't know. I think it's more of a sheep sound.
Babbling? It just feels like he's saying we're long-winded, but he likes that.
Yeah, so that works for him. Good, because we can't stop.
We can't. I don't think there's anything wrong with that review. It's just that I know the truth. And I'm sensitive about it.
And no amount of help will help you. Man, you need to get to bed.
I know. Thank you, JD. Or do you prefer Batfan?
Either way.
Shall I call you 95?
Mr. 95.
All right. But yeah, please, guys, if you don't want to, if you do or don't want to do the Patreon and support us that way, a great way to support us is to go and throw us a review. Now, before we get into the actual proper show, I do want to give a quick note about the Snyder Cut. We are recording on November 17th, which is the release date 2 years ago for Justice League, as we have gotten it. So if you're seeing on Twitter and the internets release the Snyder Cut hashtag more than normal, they're trying to be heard.
But it's more timing than anything else.
It's timing. And I'll be honest, I know you're still super, super skeptical. You don't believe. I don't know what to believe. We've got Stephen M. Colbert from Screen Rant saying some interesting stuff. We got Zack Snyder. He posted like a previs of like Superman being grabbed by a giant claw. He's still got like the stab wound, and it says like he is yet to rise, or he has not risen, or something like that.
Yeah.
A lot of cool cyborg stuff from Ray Fisher. Everybody's doing their part, posting the stills of this thing. I don't know what it means. Frankly, I'm hoping that I get to erase this entire message, because by the time we release the episode, something will have been announced, because everybody thinks that something's going to be announced today.
Yeah.
Except for you.
Sorry.
So just letting you guys know, stuff is happening, but not real news yet. But over to Joker.
Over to a thing that really does exist.
The Snyder Cut exists, man. Come on. It just might not be released ever.
If a Snyder Cut falls in the forest and no one's around.
That might be the most viable argument I've ever heard you give for that.
Well, good.
Jason Momoa was around, though.
Yeah.
Jay Oliva was around. Damn it. A very somber Dave, popping in from the future, November 11th, 2019 to be exact. The Release the Snyder Cut campaign went full throttle on the 17th. In addition to the people you just heard me name, Dave Bautista, Damon Lindelof, David Ayer, Kevin Smith, and most importantly Gal Gadot, Ben Affleck, and Zack Snyder himself all posted the hashtag Release the Snyder Cut and showed tremendous support for the movement. And in my mind, that is proof enough that it at least exists. Despite all of the support, despite reaching over 500,000 hashtag tweets, The Hollywood Reporter is reporting that an insider from WB says that they don't have any immediate plans to release the Snyder Cut. I'm not giving up hope. It sucks. But, I don't know, man. I think we should just keep hoping for the best. And, of course, in the words of the great Jay Oliva, stay positive, keep it professional, and keep supporting the movement. Back to the show. Anyway, Joker it's being reported Joker has officially crossed $1 billion at the international box office. At the worldwide box office, I should say.
That's not surprising.
No, it's not. Not at this point. We knew it was heading there.
Nah, it was getting that
last several weeks.
I know it's still got some views on the table from people that are like, man, I just can't get out to see it and all that. Like it's. Mm-hmm. There was plenty there.
Yeah. Now Box Office Mojo isn't updated. It's in the 990s as far as that goes. But it's a Sunday. They're not going to update until tomorrow probably. But even at when it hit 957, it was the most profitable comic book movie of all time.
Right.
So that was 15 times its estimated budget.
Yeah, it's insane. That's just stupid. God, so much money.
Mm-hmm. And we have Todd Phillips telling Los Angeles Times what his one condition for making a sequel would be at this point. He says it couldn't just be this wild and crazy movie about the clown prince of crime. It would have to have some thematic resonance in a similar way that this does, because I think that's ultimately why the movie connected. It's what's going on underneath. So many movies are about the spark, and this is about the powder. If you could capture that again in a real way, that would be interesting.
Yeah. I'm not sure where you'd go with it yet to do a similar kind of thing without... I don't know.
I don't know. I think the next logical progression is to start messing with Batman himself.
It could be, but I think they'll only do it if they have a really good idea of what to do to like match it up with the previous one. So I don't know.
Oh, at this point, there's no way they're not actively pursuing something like behind closed doors. They're not admitting to it, but Warner Brothers has been on the phone with Mr. Phillips.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they're talking.
They've discussed things with Mr. Phoenix.
If nothing else, they're probably just on the phone making sure they got their giant back-end points checks.
All right, so there was a recent question and answer session at the Santa Barbara International Film Festival, and Todd Phillips was talking about Joaquin Phoenix's willingness to just try things. You remember that scene in the movie where he empties out his refrigerator and crawls in?
Yeah.
That was one of those. It wasn't scripted, but it made it in the movie because it was just weird as hell.
Yeah.
And Phillips says one of the great things about Joaquin is he's always up to try things. So we would finish our days early sometimes, and we started doing this thing, Joaquin and I. We called it a study of insomnia. It was our own fun little thing. Like, we have an hour left in the day. Let's light this kitchen. Joaquin, let's do something over by the sink or the fridge, and let's just set up 2 cameras. Larry would operate one, Jeff would operate the other, and we would do these things. The fridge was one of those. It wasn't in the script. It was something that Joaquin just kind of did, and there was a few others. There's only one other that's in the movie, and it's when he's laughing after he goes to Zazie Beet's apartment, and he comes back down the hall, and he's laughing alone in that living room. That was another one. But while some of those scenes actually got in, he says there were 2 or 3 others we shot. One that is amazing in a bathtub, but I don't think we can actually include it in any R-rated movie. And it's not because it was pornographic. It was just insane. He did not expound.
Yeah. Yeah. He's...
I desperately want to see that scene. Like, what does that mean?
I mean, can your deleted scenes be more than R-rated if you release it?
Yes.
You can put whatever you want on those, right?
Yeah, he could stick it in the movie if he wanted to, and they would just call it unrated.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep, rooting for that now.
Yep. Release the Phillips cut. Release the tub cut.
I don't need anyone's cut, Nazar. Just give me more of the movie.
Release the tub cut, I'm telling you.
The tub cut. Yes. That's got legs right there.
Oh, yeah. Did you ever see Even Stevens on the Disney Channel?
Oh yeah.
My wife's been watching that thing. I had not realized that their coach's name was Coach Tugnut.
No, I'd forgotten that. That's bad.
And they call him Coach Tugnut in like the first episode or whatever it is, and they all like sort of snicker. And I'm like, how did they get away with that?
Yeah.
Anyway, Birds of Prey, they've released a plot synopsis. And normally I don't care about plot synopsis, or synopses. But this one's pretty interesting. It says, you ever hear the one about the cop, the songbird, the psycho, and the mafia princess? Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn is a twisted tale told by Harley herself, as only Harley can tell it. When Gotham's most nefariously narcissistic villain, Roman Sionis, and his zealous right hand, Zaz, put a target on a young girl named Cass, the city is turned upside down looking for her. Harley, Huntress, Black Canary, and Renee Montoya's paths collide, and the unlikely foursome have no choice but to team up to take Roman down. In the Warner Brothers Pictures film, Margot Robbie returns as Harley Quinn alongside Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Huntress, Journey Smollett-Bell as Black Canary, Rosie Perez as Renee Montoya, Chris Messina as Victor Zaz, and Ewan McGregor as Roman Sionis. Newcomer Ella J. Basco also stars as Cassandra Cass Kane in her feature film debut. Now, what's interesting about this to me Not only are they confirming what we heard in rumor that, it was going to center around Cass Kane being hunted down.
Uh-huh.
Which is never, this is the first time it's been actually confirmed. But that is a twisted tale told by Harley herself, as only Harley can tell it, which tells me they could do whatever the hell they want.
Yep. Yeah, that was
it could be
unreliable narrator.
And it's an unreliable narrator. Absolutely. I love that I do a show with a guy who knows that term as well.
It's the only real thing that occurred to me out of that synopsis was like, yeah, I think I saw the rest of this coming, but okay, that.
Mm-hmm. That's fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, the movie could have been in or out of canon as is, I guess, or it could have just been a side tell anyway. But to frame it, for her to be framing it, yeah, you don't know what is and isn't going to be connected to reality in any capacity.
And to put the cherry on top, Margot Robbie was giving an interview, and she referred to the movie as a little bonkers, and then said the story in Birds of Prey is told from her point of view. So you have an insight into Harley's world in a way that you didn't in the first Suicide Squad film, nor that you'll have in the next Suicide Squad film. It's a little bonkers. It reflects her personality. It's heightened. It's poppy. It's fun. It's violent. It's crazy. It's absurd. It's kooky. It's hilarious. It's a little heartbreaking.
Good. Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah.
When do we get this thing again?
February.
Oh, that's not too far, man. I can make it.
Yeah. Now, over on the Suicide Squad, speaking of Suicide Squad, one, causing great controversy, Margot Robbie also praised the humor in James Squad's Suicide Squad film. She says in an interview with Variety that Joel Kinnaman is right. You're going to be laughing a lot. It's going to be good. That's all I can say for now. It's going to be very, very good.
Now, was Kinnaman, by the way, I'm pretty sure you called him James Quad.
What?
I think you just called him James Quad, but, James Gunn.
Oh, no, I meant to say James Gunn.
I think some sleepiness.
No, it's not just sleepiness. I am sick.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just blaming everything on 2 hours sleep for now. We'll let the rest of that develop as it will.
I thought I said James Gunn.
I think it was anyway. Wasn't it Kinnaman that was saying that they were really kind of stretching his... he was getting to stretch his boundaries as far as comedy. Wasn't really something he was comfortable with, but he was enjoying getting to try it.
Yeah.
Well, good.
He said it, in a lot of ways it reads like a comedy, which is greatly upset the DCEU set, or a big chunk of it, because, they don't like jokes.
Yeah, some really don't. I mean, to each their own, but that one's like, I enjoy a world with more jokes in it.
Mm-hmm.
And, I love gallows humor, and, I can't imagine a better place than put it in a Suicide Squad film.
Absolutely. I dig it.
So.
I'm down.
I'm in.
I like all the Guardians movies, so.
What are you going to do?
I'm one of those filthy Marvel stands, I guess, too. I don't know. And Peter Capaldi. Lord help me, I love that man.
Yeah, he's good.
And James Gunn, not Quad, James Gunn was asked on Instagram if Capaldi will have a cameo or a big role in the movie. And Gunn responded by saying he has a big role.
I was hoping there would be more to it than that, but I'll take it.
That's all I want.
I was really hoping for a little bit more, but, I get it.
Yeah.
He's also a deeply gifted actor. Like, it's hard to get him on your roster and not take full advantage.
Yeah, why would you?
Unless it's... I feel like one of these people that we're super excited about is going to die in, like, the first 20 seconds of the film.
I can't imagine Nathan Fillion lasting 10 minutes.
Yeah, he's the one I've got pegged to. That, like, he comes in with all his bluster and charisma, and he makes it like 5 seconds before he gets gut shot and put down.
Yep. And I don't know if it's been confirmed, because I haven't seen that it's confirmed. Only that they've released, or they haven't released. It's been leaked photos of him in costume. Some people are claiming he's that arms fall off character or whatever. I want him. If he's that character, I want his arms to. I want him to be beaten to death by one of his own arms. That's what I want.
Yeah, that's the natural conclusion.
I feel like if you do that character, you can't actually. You've got to just have him be beat to death by one of his own arms.
Yeah. I agree, and probably both of them, kind of in tandem.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna move on, and James Gunn says that there will be more practical sets and effects in the Suicide Squad than all his other movies combined.
That may not be hard to do. I mean, considering the movies he's been working on recently, at least.
I mean, but when you consider the Guardians movies,
Yeah,
and Slither.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. There's a lot of computer in the Guardians movies. If for no other reason than they couldn't build like, I mean, they have like the ship has a set, and usually where they are for a minute is a set. But most of the backgrounds are computered.
That might be fair. Marvel takes a lot of heat for just kind of shooting people with a loose script on a green screen.
They're making it work, man. Fuck it.
Yeah, they are. I don't mind that at all.
No, but they're again like just the backgrounds a lot. They do, especially with Guardians. It's big sets, big setups. I mean, hell, most of that planet they were on for 2 was probably fake. Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
Fair enough. By the way, we reported it, but Matt Reeves has confirmed Andy Serkis is Alfred.
Good. It seemed pretty damn sure when we reported it.
Robert Pattinson was talking about a little bit to Jennifer Lopez in a Variety Actors on Actors interview, and
that's an interesting pairing,
right? And he talked a little bit about why he wanted to play Batman. He says, "With Batman, it's a strange one with me. I was very, very focused on it, and I don't know why. It just kind of kept coming back into my head. I knew they were doing another one. It just really appealed to me. I don't know what it is which happened inside of me. It's a different feeling where you want to do something, where you know there's an audience. There's an anticipation from an audience that's already there. I like doing something that is something an audience kind of doesn't know that it wants and kind of try to get it out to them. And that's a whole different thing. There's a competitive side as well where you know everyone's like, oh yeah, you want to play Batman? And it's kind of fun. The challenge of it is kind of interesting." He says, "I have no interest whatsoever in playing who's heroic. The only time I want to play someone in an audience knows they're supposed to like is when they really shouldn't like them. That's the only time. He's a very, very, very troubled person. There's very few of a character that's regarded by everyone as a heroic character that they know they need to save the day, and they know they're good. And I always find it interesting to know that Batman, he's always struggling a little bit in some iterations of the stories anyway. He doesn't know if he's that great or not. And that's kind of interesting, walking the line all the time."
So we're going to do anti-hero Batman. And he likes anti-heroes in general.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. So you guys are doing Zack Snyder Batman.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Please don't kill anyone. I'm so tired of hearing it.
It's it's gotten old to think about, like, oh, they never kill. They kill all the time, man. All the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's an argument that I'm done having. And yeah, I'd kind of appreciate not having to do that again.
Oh, I'm not gonna have the argument again.
Oh,
I don't plan to have the argument again.
Bailing on that entirely if it comes up.
Yeah, I'm sick of seeing it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like,
there'll be some subset of people that aren't happy with this no matter what happens. So just brace yourself for them, and we'll hope for the best.
Speaking of a particular subset of people who aren't happy about a thing.
Oh, lovely.
Jamie Lawson has been cast in the Batman, and we're not telling what role. We're not being told what role she's been cast as. And she just graduated from the Juilliard School in New York, and they pulled her right out of Juilliard and thrown her right into a Batman movie. Now, here's the thing: this Jamie Lawson character, this actress, she happens to be a woman of color. A woman of the same color that Jeffrey Wright is, the guy playing Commissioner Gordon. And even though the fan base seemed to have been fine with Jeffrey Wright, a black guy, playing Commissioner Gordon, they're suddenly upset by the fact that they think, oh, wait, no, that means Barbara has to be black. I don't quite understand the sentiment that you would be happy with one and not the other, since they're related.
Yeah.
When they went that way with Commissioner Gordon, I went, oh, yeah, okay, well. So
there's no reason this isn't okay. All right, sure, whatever.
Right. They haven't said that this is Barbara Gordon. And I don't really see, I don't know how they're going to pull this off necessarily. And they can, but we know that Christina Hodson is still, or has written a Batgirl script. And that they are working on Barbara Gordon Batgirl. And as far as I understand it, it has been DCEU related. Well, Jeffrey Wright doesn't look like J.K. Simmons, so this is definitely not DCEU with the Batman. So are we going to have parallel Batgirls?
Could be. Or is there any reason to really think, other than the fact that they're both black, is there any reason to really think that she's going to be a Gordon?
Just that she's young.
I mean, from to that end, I think we're jumping a lot of conclusions here, guys.
We are, and they haven't said it's Barbara Gordon yet.
What strikes me is it borders on the well, they're both black, so they must be related.
It does.
Not sure that follows, fella.
You know what? My first thought is that she would be Selena Kyle's little friend. What was her name? Holly something? Holly Robinson, maybe?
That sounds right.
Like when Selena's...
it's been a minute since I've heard from her.
Right. I mean, it was back when, Frank Miller was doing Selena is a prostitute. She's got a little girl prostitute that she protects.
Yeah. And I know exactly what you're talking about, but it's been a while.
Yeah. That was my first thought, but the fact that they're not disclosing the role in any capacity is interesting. I don't think it would be for such a minor character.
Yes and no. I mean, disclosing the role is one thing, but maybe she's really good. I mean, she did graduate to Juilliard. That's right. Not nothing. But
well, maybe they're just, not disclosing the role because the role isn't worth disclosing.
That's kind of what I was wondering. Is well, I mean...
But of course, everybody thinks oh man, they're keeping something a secret. This is a big plot point. And it might be.
It could be.
I don't know. But, I'm confused. If she is Barbara Gordon, just so?
Yeah. There's a lot of and so what going on here for me.
I mean, you shouldn't have been surprised, I guess. I don't know.
There's I don't know. I rarely understand outrage, and this one I squarely don't. It's just not quite.
I feel like we used to be more outragey.
I don't know. I we've been beaten. We've just been beaten and jaded by the passage of time and the DC universe as it stands.
Yeah, I mean, well, I prefer to think we've grown.
I mean, I hope so, but
we still don't like Dark Knight Rises, but we've grown.
Yeah, that's not gonna grow on me.
Yeah.
Hashtag Gordon should be dead.
Hashtag they never should have found him. They said they never should have found him. Anyway.
That's not hanging a lantern. That's being completely unaware of your own actions.
All right. So, dude, Black Adam.
Oh, hell yeah.
Rock popped over to social media, and he revealed this badass artwork. And I don't know if you looked into the artwork. Did you see the artwork?
Mm-hmm. It's Boss Logic.
Boss Logic and Jim Lee collaborating.
Ooh.
And Boss Logic, dude, that dude's blowing up, man.
Yeah, he's doing well.
He's been doing graphic stuff for Marvel that, for Endgame and stuff. He's, man.
I mean, he made his bones just doing fan art, and it seems like somebody's finally cutting him a check now.
Yes. And
good for him, man. It's always been great art.
This wasn't the only...
I guess good for him or her. I don't know.
It's a guy.
Okay.
But Boss Logic is a really nice guy. Even after he blew up, he allowed me to use some of his artwork for Joaquin Phoenix's Joker in one of our show arts.
Oh, that's
I just
right.
really liked that, and he was just like, "Oh, go for it, man!" And that's really cool. He's nice bloke.
Quite gracious.
But he's revealed two pictures now. One with Superman having done some real damage to Black Adam. Superman floating above Black Adam. And then
that one I haven't seen.
Yeah, that was also Jim Lee and Boss Logic. And
that's sweet.
And The Rock specifically requested that one. And then the one that came with the announcement of Black Adam, or The Rock as Black Adam, hovering above.
Yeah, kind of floating down.
Mm-hmm. And The Rock writes, "The man in black with a lightning bolt. Like most kids growing up, I dreamed about being a superhero, having cool superpowers, fighting for what's right, and always protecting the people. It all changed for me when I was 10 years old and was first introduced to the greatest superhero of all time, Superman. As a kid, Superman was the hero I always wanted to be, but a few years into my fantasy, I realized that Superman was the hero I could never be. I was too rebellious, too rambunctious, too resistant to convention and authority. Despite my troubles, I was still a good kid with a good heart. I just liked to do things my way. Now, years later, as a man, with the same DNA I had as a kid, my superhero dreams have come true. I'm honored to join the iconic DC universe, and it's a true pleasure to become Black Adam. Black Adam is blessed by magic, and the powers equal to Superman, but the difference is he doesn't toe the mark or walk the line. He's a rebellious, one-of-a-kind superhero who will always do what's right for the people, but he does it his way. Truth and justice, the Black Adam way. This role is unlike any other I've played in my career, and I'm grateful to the bone. We'll all go on this journey together. Black Adam, 12/22/21.
That's sweet. Complete with release date. That's. I mean, we've known that he was still on board and still hyped and still excited for a while, but that didn't necessarily mean anything in the new landscape. This is really nice. This is nice to really know for sure.
And what's even more nice is he has confirmed. He said it before, and we didn't know the guy, but we know him now. Lawrence Shear, the cinematographer for Joker, is shooting Black Adam.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he did a great job.
The Rock revealed that on Twitter. He had worked with that cinematographer before, and we didn't know what the hell that movie was when something jungle something. And I didn't write it down. Still.
Something jungle something.
Yep. But knowing it's the Joker cinematographer, I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And someone asked, David Sandberg posted a picture of the Wizard from Shazam, said the Wizard will be back in Black Adam, right? The events are before Shazam, right? Sandberg responds, I have no idea what happens in Black Adam or who's in it. Different writer, director, producer. So far I only know what I've read online. Perhaps I will find out more eventually, but at the moment, I'm just as curious as everyone else.
Somehow I believe it when he says it. He's just been so damn transparent about the Shazam process.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a little cagey when he had to be, but he would just tell you, now I'm hiding something. He wouldn't try to talk
or respond
around
with an obvious joke.
Yeah, or just lie. Yeah, obvious joke was a fun one. He would just straight up say, I can't tell you any of that. Okay.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that.
But the Rock had his producer credits on Shazam, so I would imagine they'll probably keep that continuity.
Yeah, I mean, they even seem to use his outline for one of the little exposition.
History lesson.
The history lesson. Yeah, the history lesson. That's what we were calling. There's always a history lesson.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're gonna go over to Aquaman 2 here, and Patrick Wilson, guy that played Orm, was talking to Hollywood Reporter. And a little bit about Aquaman 2. He says, I'm slightly briefed. Of course, I want to know everything, but I also have a great respect for him, James Wan, and the process to know that I'm okay staying out of it until it's late in the game. Sometimes there's so much information that I don't ask because I don't want to know, and I don't want him to go, I can't tell you that yet. I just throw a little dart here and there. I'll say, so what about this? And he'll say, well, this is sort of what I'm thinking. But we talk a lot. It's funny. When I think about the answers that I gave you at the beginning of this, and always pushing myself forward, even in the same genre, that's James to a T. He says, I can tell you that even his concepts for Aquaman 2 are pushing it even further, whatever that means. I have a few ideas of where Orm fits in, but I'm not going to talk about them.
Well, speaking of just telling you, I'm not going to tell you. There you go. That's what that sounds like.
But importantly, this does confirm that he is at least in the movie.
Well, yeah, that he has some place in that universe still, yeah. Mm-hmm. I think he was going to be in the movie.
Well, yeah, that's definitely what I thought.
I mean, there's a history of Ocean Master trying to take over, getting put in his place, and then teaming up with his brother later, being like, well, just didn't mean it to get that far, sorry.
I hate to say it, but I really want to see Jason Momoa reading journal entries to Orm in prison.
Yeah.
I know it's silly. I know it's from Batman the Brave and the Bold.
Yeah. But it was a fun moment.
It's one of my favorite things from that show.
Yeah. Orm just with his head in his hands. Oh. No.
So Batman and I fought a legion of submarines.
Sharks.
All right. That's going to do it for our movie news. We're going to come back We're going to go to break, and then we're going to come back with a bunch of TV news, Titans and Harley Quinn and Crisis on Infinite Earths. So if you're down with all that, we'll see you in a minute. If not, keep some DC on your screen.
Whatever the hell universe it is, like we know anymore.
I don't know. Just give it to me.
At Granger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call, clickgranger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
And we're back from a little breaky poo there.
Did you get a good nap?
Yeah, man.
Good.
Everyone got to listen to some kind of ad. Unless they're on the actual...
For whatever.
Unless they're on Patreon.
Socks or something.
I don't know. I don't listen to the show after I post it, so...
No, not enough to see where the ads are or what they're doing these days. I have no idea what's going on with their ads. Complete blank spot for me.
I just, kind of always halfway expect that, our listeners will be like, hey, they're running Trump ads again. I'm like, damn it. I'm going to stop that shit.
Cut it out.
Yeah.
I'm going with some kind of holiday sale.
Probably. Or progressive.
Some
kind of flow thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, Titans. We've got the future of Titans here for DC Universe.
Mm-hmm.
They've been killing it this season. I've been really enjoying it.
Great.
So I'm super excited they've been renewed for season 3.
Mm-hmm.
I was so excited. Like the only thing I've been more excited about recently, like very recently, is I was scrolling through my newsfeed and found that they've renewed Brooklyn Nine-Nine at NBC for an 8th season.
I saw that too.
And they haven't even released the 7th season yet. I'm like, but they're not even saying this is the 8th and final season either. They're just saying, oh yeah, it did well enough. Like apparently there's been like a big ratings uptick since it got canceled from Fox and went to NBC. Like,
that's not surprising.
You mean Fox didn't know what they were doing with the show? Cool. Couldn't have guessed
never
that
happened.
Shit. Anyway.
You mean Fox mismanaged a show and it went to another network who took a little bit of care and kindness with it and it did just fine? Oh, poor guys. Couldn't happen to nicer fellas.
Mm-hmm. So Titans renewed for season 3. Really excited about that.
Are you caught up? Are you caught up? Do you see the one from this week?
I haven't yet. I want to.
Yeah, it's good.
I kind of go back and forth. Like I let Titans go for a while and just try to maintain CW, and then I'll let this week. They didn't have Flash or Arrow come on, so
there's almost nothing this week. It was very, very slim on the CW front, so I got to catch up with everything else.
Yeah, I should have been able to do that, but I was working on other stuff. I actually used that to catch up on podcast stuff. Not like listening to podcasts, but working on our podcast or my podcasts across the board, DC On Screen and Star Trek Universe.
Yeah, I was also able to go, I've worked my way through about 2 of the 5 inches of comics I have sitting here.
Oh, yeah, I haven't done that in a minute.
Yeah, made some progress. It's getting real fun in Comics Land.
Well, that's awesome. I don't know what DC's doing with this 5G thing.
Oh, 5G.
Well, you don't know about 5G.
Like the tech?
Like 5th generation.
Oh, I don't know about that yet.
Yeah, it's like going to be like the next big reboot thing.
Oh, no, I don't know about that yet.
Where they're like condensing and then it's going to be like, hey, Wonder Woman is Generation 1 and she's with the Justice Society. And then we're going to do like they're going to redo it where it's Batman happened like in the 30s. Like Batman is born in the 30s and is basically retired by our age. And I think the 5th generation is going to be like John Kent coming back from the future and taking over for Superman, because Superman happens like slightly before Batman in the 30s or whatever. So, or I guess he would be happening in the 50s or something like that. I don't know. It's just Dan DiDio's got a timeline in his office of where everything takes place in the timeline. And most of the heroes that we love and know and love are actual Silver Age, 50s and 60s, it looks like.
Okay.
And they're going to have some kind of funky reason why they're not aging. That's actually in canon that they actually specify.
Okay. Well, that will be...
I have been told.
I will need that by the end of all that, yeah. I haven't looked into it because I have been... I'm not even calling it issues. I'm calling it inches behind in comics.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm years and years behind, I'll call it.
Like, I'm almost caught up to a lot of what the Justice League is doing, but I'm also, I still got to catch up with Bane, and I've still got some other Black Label stuff that I don't have. But I haven't looked at any news because of that, because I've been behind, and I knew a couple things were finishing. Like, I know Event Leviathan just finished up, and I have no idea what happens to conclude that, so I've been avoiding the internet for that reason.
Oh, well, I almost just told you what happened.
Oh, no, don't tell me.
Because that's how I consume comics now. I just read news articles and go, oh, okay.
No, I mean, I'll know by the end of the afternoon because I'm going to go pick it up today. I finally had room.
Fair enough.
But I'd been catching up to a lot of the Year of the Villain stuff and the Doom Rising and all that. Okay. I mean, as it is now, Doom has risen.
Well, cool.
Yeah. Next I got to go check out City of Bane, see what's going on
there. Speaking of Bane, you saw this brand new Harley Quinn animated trailer, right?
I did. I don't remember Bane, though.
Oh, he was great. Like, Joker's talking to him on the phone, and he's like, because like Harley is hanging out with other villains and stuff and going to some party or something. I can't remember what it was, but you got Joker telling Bane, you know she has HPV, right? And Bane goes, yeah, well, most sexually active adults do.
I might have missed that part.
It's great. It's because like Joker's just being an asshole about Harley doing stuff. He's like, oh, she's making quite a name for herself. Yeah, they're totally doing just like a Tom Hardy impersonation on the show. It's funny.
Like.
But his mask looks like it looks less like a luchador mask and more like a gimp mask.
That sounds right.
This show looks fantastic.
Oh yeah, and we're really close.
Really loving Tudyk's Joker so far.
Mm-hmm. I've only gotten to hear really maybe 5 or 6 lines, but so far so good.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this is kind of exciting. Neil Gaiman, in an interview with the Radio Times, says, in reference to Netflix's Sandman series, there are 3 of us, the showrunner Alan Heidenberg, David Goyer, and me, and we've just finished writing the first episode and plotting and breaking down the first 2 seasons.
All right.
So we'll see what happens next.
All right.
To my knowledge, that's the first iteration of 2 seasons being mentioned.
They've been having trouble mounting the first episode for years now, much less 2 seasons. I mean, it's been, what, 3 or 4 years since I've heard it bandied around.
Yeah, I think it was the first year we started talking about Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Who I guess detached somewhere along the way, and then
he vamoosed.
Yeah, and then this became it was a movie at the time, and then now it became. I think when Gaiman got back on board, that was when he was the one I think where we first heard this is really better as a TV series.
Yeah,
we're gonna try to find it at home that way.
I think the scriptwriter and I think Heinberg and Goyer and Gaiman have all said, "Oh no, this needs to be a TV show."
Yeah, it's a slow burn apparently, which makes sense because I mean, Sandman's one of those series that I wish I could go catch up on. Mm-hmm. Like Sandman and Lucifer in particular. I like the show as it is now, not so much the first few detective series seasons, but the show now where it's making some bigger moves is a lot of fun, and I kind of wanted to let it finish. Same way I've never read Preacher, but now that Preacher's finished, I have it on my to-do list. But it's like you can't get any of those products I just mentioned. You can't just get a few books and get a good. You need an omnibus, volume 1. Mm-hmm. Like it's a stack about. We'll go back to inches. Maybe what was it, about a foot long worth of books? 10, 12 inches worth of books. Man, I can't afford that hobby. I'm gonna have to wait for him to get on DC Universe. Which they insist everything is going to go on there. And I don't know if that applies to Vertigo, which is a lot of what I just listed, but still, here's hoping because it's the only way I'm going to be able to afford it.
Yeah, they can be expensive.
It just, it adds up. Like it'd been, it'd been 3 weeks since I picked up my pull list last time I went in because it's out on Wednesdays, and every Wednesday it'd be like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I wouldn't have time. I'd have to get home for something immediately. And then Monday and Tuesday would roll by and I'd go, well, I'll just go by then and something would happen. So this went on for weeks. I finally went in. It was like $90 worth of comics. Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah. I don't have the budget for back issues for stuff like that as much as I want to.
Yeah. I know. I used to get like almost everything from Marvel and DC.
Yeah. I've actively a few times seen something and went, oh, that looks fun. And then just went, no, man, you're tapped out right now.
Yeah. What always killed me was like, I got to get the monthly titles because I got to be caught up for when the big crossover happens. And then I'd be like, oh, but there's a mini series that, by a couple of creators I really like. This is outside of the main continuity or in addition to the main continuity, or it happens, sometime in Batman's past. And I'm like, yeah, but I like that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, but it
kills
I have
you.
learned this trick, and I'm sure you've known this trick before. Let's say for the entirety of DC, as it pertains to like the normal DC comics, like Justice League-esque kind of stuff, not the other DC stuff that's not part of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say it's just this universe, the DC proper universe. There's probably maybe 8 to 10 kind of things happening across, at any given time.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've started to do is basically just focus on like 1 or 2 of those things and buy all of that.
Yeah.
So there's whole other, and here's a cheat code for you. If one of the things you're following is whatever Scott Snyder's up to, he's taken the lead in a lot of ways. Like a lot of what they're doing with the DC universe has to do with what he's doing with his stories.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, he's done this on several issues of Justice League where you'll get a few pages into reading it and you realize that he's giving you a recap. Like you could have jumped in this issue and gotten a complete explanation of what was going on before.
Mm-hmm.
And he's actually really talented at it. Like you don't realize you're even doing a recap until well into it. And honestly, his stories are so complicated. You're kind of thankful that he's actually giving you like a little, it's like, why don't we take a breather here and focus on what's happened so far? Like, okay, thank you. Because this was getting weird and big. And I think I forgot a few things.
Yeah. Yeah. I like from on a month to month basis and buying so many books, I started really having trouble remembering what the hell had happened in the previous book. And so my cheat code is Wikipedia.
I don't blame you. It's a fine one. I've used it before. Also, the way my memory works is I go from 0 recall to full recall.
Uh-huh.
But not really in between. Like I normally don't have to read something twice. Normally, if I've read it, it's logged, it's in there. I may know, I remember nothing about it, but if I just go literally flip through the pages, I'll remember the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And occasionally I'll stop and read a piece of dialogue because it was big or juicy, and I was like, well, there's some details here I don't think I got. Yeah. I don't think I remembered the first time.
And like I specifically will get spoiled in a lot of ways. Like I stopped listening to the pull list because I was like, I kind of want to get to this. Like you've told me enough about this where I'm like, I do want to read that.
Yeah, and it is all spoiler. The pull list thing.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's why occasionally I'll throw something in that has nothing to do with the continuity going forward. Like Deceased was a great example of something that's just, if you don't want to know about that story, great. If you do, or if you don't care, it's not going to be canon except for like maybe a mention that I said earlier. I kept saying because it occurred to me as I finished it, I was like, this would make an arduous, overlong, not really that fun live action movie, but it would make a great animated film.
Yeah. Now I just saw that they started soliciting like the gigantic hardcover volume 1 of Injustice, Gods Among Us comic. And I know enough about that. I want to read that.
That one is on DC's universe, thankfully.
Yeah,
because it's one of the ones that I have been. It's another one where I've read probably the first 2 seasons of that, or whatever you want to call it. And then I kind of just trailed off and didn't really pick it back up. So. And the only copies I had of that were digital to begin with. I don't have any kind of paper version. So DC Universe is fine for me. It's not like I'm going to be annoyed that I don't have the rest of the issues,
Yeah. But yeah, I'll get around to reading some of this stuff, but I rely on friends and trusted reviewers to say, this is a good one. And I'm like, cool, I'll pick that up. And now, unfortunately, because of you, it's just the few things that I've read, it's just going to be like, okay, any Batman thing that says, or any DC thing that says Scott Snyder on it, I'm going to pick it up now.
Yeah, man, he's killing it. And we had a conversation a while back, it was months ago now, where I was like, can I tell you about this one thing? And you're like, you know what, I actually don't. Because you would hit that tipping point where like, I'm actually convinced I'm actually gonna read this at some point. So whatever happens from here. So now every once in a while I'll send you like one panel, a screenshot of one panel of something that's a little bit non sequitur, but kind of fun. Mostly Jarro and whatever he's up to at the moment.
I do enjoy Jarro quite a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you, I won't buy it when it comes out, like initially, but when it goes to graphic, this Tom King, Mitch Gerard's Strange Adventures.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it sounded good. I didn't have room for it on my list right now, but it sounded good.
Anyway, yeah. After Mr. Miracle, all right.
And they're cutting Tom King short on his Bane storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I think he wanted to go all the way to issue 100, and they told him issue 85. 82 just came out, so he's got 3, 4, and 5 left to go.
Uh-huh.
And it sounded like the story's a little obfuscated. It sounded a little bit like he had something that he wanted to do, and they told him, hey, one of the last things you're going to do isn't going to work for the rest of the universe, and they kind of had to part ways with him only getting to tell some of what he wanted to do.
That, and he's also going to do that Batcat thing.
Well, that and the movie came up, and he was suddenly way busier than the comics were going to. I mean, you get a chance to actually write a movie for the DC universe. You take that shot.
Uh-huh.
You cut your Batman run short, and you get over there and you write some new gods, damn it.
And he's not even cutting it short necessarily. He's just moving the part that they don't want to be canon over to another story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fine. And I've enjoyed a lot of what he's done. Some of the criticism I understood, because there's a couple beats that didn't hit me exactly great, I guess. I don't know. It's so hard to describe.
Yeah.
A couple of beats that didn't resonate with me. Let's put it that way. But for the most part, I really enjoyed his take.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
We were talking about TV at some point, right?
We were.
Which one? Titans? No, Sandman.
We were talking about Sandman, and now we're moving over to CW.
Okay. Recap. Titans. Yay. Sandman. Yay. All right, go.
Yep. And now Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yay.
Big yay.
I
need like a firework behind me to express myself fully.
Did you watch those teasers I sent you?
Probably.
On Twitter? They
No, actually I didn't.
Oh, damn it.
I did watch the 15-second one. Yeah, I did watch the 15-second teaser.
Well, they have that.
One that includes Black Lightning and all that.
Well, yeah, it does, but then they put out a teaser for each individual show.
Oh.
Where like the Harbinger shows up and, confronts each individual hero, basically. And it's the same format. It's very, very, very short. We have her show up and talk to Ollie and Mia, and we have her show up, and Flash already knows. Flash is like, you've come to get me. The crisis has started, and she just nods sadly.
Yeah.
And they have little bits in there. What's really fun is there's a bit where Black Lightning we see him meeting all these characters very briefly. And he's like, who the hell are you people? And he's like, you go tell me my world is over and I've got to help you, oh my gosh. And he makes some comment to, let's see, I have it written down. Oh, we have Black Lightning in the teaser is talking to 90s Flash and says no one else has to die. Like, holy shit. And it's a blink and you miss it thing. You have to pause it and you realize, oh, he's not talking to our Barry. He's talking to friggin' 90s Barry. He's talking to John Wesley Shipp.
Who, in the CW canon, if I recall, has lost his entire world.
Yes, I think so. And then the Supergirl Crisis trailer, they have the friggin' Superman cape from Death of Superman on the pole.
Oh,
like all shredded
awesome.
And stuff.
Yeah,
like,
that shot.
Yeah. Oh, in the Black Lightning, when the person he yells, "Who the hell are you people?" to, is Pariah.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, they have one for where Harbinger goes against the Legends. I'm just excited about all that stuff.
I need to go watch that now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're real quick. And then of course they have the suit up thing that you told me about. Or not, you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me about that one. You just said it.
Yeah, that's the one that I've seen.
Now, what's weird is the Monitor doesn't have his mutton chops.
I can live without that.
Yeah, it looks weird. Like, it took me a minute to figure out what looked weird about him. And I'm just wondering why he doesn't have them.
Yeah, I mean...
It feels like a story point or something. Why would you? I don't know. But anyway.
I agree that fashion choice shouldn't be Monitor's top priority.
It shouldn't be, but why would shaving be top priority?
I mean, yeah. Let's just assume that he was trimming one day and was distracted by all the crises going-ons.
Uh-huh.
And accidentally ripped into one of the chops and was like, well, I gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've all done that.
I've definitely done that.
Oh, man, I've had to take it down to bare bones a couple times because I was like, okay, and I'll just hit this area real quick. Oh, I didn't have the guard on at all.
Yeah. And Osric Chow on Twitter says, did you catch my face in that trailer? The briefest of milliseconds. It's the bearded character that everyone is saying is Ryan Choi. Ryan Cho, however you say that. He
Choi.
was okay. He was the successor to Ray Palmer as the Atom.
Mm-hmm.
So he's there.
Cool.
And
well, we know that, right? That Ray's leaving the show.
Yeah.
We don't know what capacity and exactly when.
We do know that he's also playing Superman in Crisis.
Yes.
And we did get a shot of him in the Kingdom Come Superman suit.
I did see that. It's pretty glorious.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing I can't believe we're getting to see, that he's returning.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm using that word, I guess, specifically. And that it's as a Kingdom Come version of himself in a crisis. Like, when you watched that movie all that time ago, what sliver of a percentile of a chance would you have bet that would happen?
Very small.
I mean, astronomical odds.
You know, I was thinking though, Mia Smoke running around with Ollie in the Crisis. It kind of made me give more credence to Travis Hines' theory that we're gonna have sort of a Oliver taking the place of Barry type of situation, like because he did have those flash powers in Elseworlds. He doesn't know how to use those now, but in this way, you would have Mia taking over as Green Arrow. We know she's going to, because she's going to be in Green Arrow and the Canaries, the spinoff. But just wondering if she's going to take over the same way Wally took over from Barry when Barry sacrificed himself in the comic book Crisis.
Yeah, there's been a lot of lead up to Barry going away, but there's no hint that Grant Gustin has any plans of leaving Vancouver at the moment.
Oh yeah, I don't think he will.
And Stephen Amell is for sure out of there. So
in the Arrow teaser, we actually see a shot of Ollie in pain. It looks like on the ground, laying down, and what looks like Flash's arm beside him.
Oh wow! God, I've got to see these.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, you do.
Oh. Well.
Tom Welling told a fan that his cameo in Crisis is very, very short.
I really don't doubt that much. I mean, that seems entirely plausible.
He told this guy he shot one day, one scene.
Yeah, I'm not sure I believe that, but I do believe that it's going to be kind of briefish, even if it is important, kind of briefish. But I don't think they pulled him in to do any kind of feature. Like, I don't think it's going to be that big. But the fact that they got Smallville in is still meaningful.
Yeah, and I've seen rumors that they are going to have the Ralph, Hecklin, and Welling Superman together on the screen. Superman ended up.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that's all I want. I don't want like a hey, let's catch up situation.
Yeah, it does crack me up though that we're about to enter a world where there's going to be a crisis, a whole thing like that. We're going to have 3 different canoned Supermen. Whilst there is currently, I know it's in production, but there is currently no actual Superman show, and no Batman. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah,
but I was just joking. I was watching Titans the other night, and I was just kind of shot you a little message, and was like, man, it is really crazy that there are 3 live action Deathstrokes on the field right now. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's weird.
We live in strange times. I mean, like, there are times where, like, I'll get on Twitter and, like, 20 seconds later, I'm emotionally drained. And it takes moments like that where I have to, when I have private time where I'm just watching and enjoying something, where I'm like, fuck the internet. This is crazy and cool. This is an amazing thing. We live in far better times than your feed lets you believe sometimes.
That is true. Now, Kevin Smith is going to take a little bit of time out of his Reboot Roadshow.
Which is coming to Birmingham, by the way, if you want to try to make it.
Not sure. You know what I saw, though, that got me excited was Jason Mewes posted a thing about where he mentioned Clerks 3 as a thing that's actually happening, again. And
dude, that could be 10 years from now, and I still have the utmost faith that we will eventually see a Clerks 3.
Yeah.
I just believe it in my bones that that's a thing that's going to happen at some point.
But, yeah, I might try to hit the Reboot
Minimally.
Roadshow
Someone will be
tour.
like, Kevin, here's $20 million. I know that's ample to make a Clerks film. Make this happen. Sure.
Oh, this is not the money. That's the problem. The problem is getting the guy that played Randall. Because he doesn't want to come back.
He just doesn't like being an actor, apparently. I remember you telling me about that. Like, it's something he did, and I feel like he wishes he'd never done it.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, he's taking time out from the Reboot Roadshow tour to do a CW show. And it's going to be a Crisis on Infinite Earths after show. And
after each episode?
Well, it'll be an after show that's on December 8th and December 10th after the first and third parts.
Okay. I don't know why not the second, but I assume there's some scheduling.
I would assume.
That's all I got. But okay.
I'll probably watch it.
I probably will tune in for that. Like, most of the time I stream whatever it is we're watching the next day. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have cable, but I rarely have time to actually sit down and watch a thing when it happens. It's just...
Yeah, me too.
I got a 1-year-old.
I mean, I don't have cable, but...
Well, maybe we should get you over for it. Like, it's a big enough event that, yeah, like, I would like to actually sit down and watch this thing.
Yeah, I don't know how
I kind of wouldn't mind soaking up the after show if I could.
I mean, I'll watch it at some point.
I mean, worst case scenario, I'm gonna watch it next day. But
yeah,
I might try.
Someone asked Guggenheim, I know there's probably more people for the best TV event of the year, but what's the possibility of the legends literally Victor Garber and Franz Drama returning? Of course, Bebo is going to appear, right? And Guggenheim responded, one of the three.
All right.
And he says they're still adding people. They're still adding surprises. He says there was a little impromptu Twitter Q&A, and he says there are still surprises, potentially some cameos. I almost said that cameos that fans are not expecting. He says we still have a few tricks up our sleeves, and we're working every day on more. # never fully wrapped.
Cool.
I'm down with that.
I was. I mean, I agree though. I was kind of hoping that we wouldn't know everything before. I mean, it's part of why I want to watch live is so I can not have to worry about the next day being spoiled on something.
Yeah. So someone asked Guggenheim, can you tease anything for Flash and Iris fans and for Crisis? And Mark Guggenheim said Iris recruits the 7th Paragon.
What?
You remember when the Monitor said that there were people who...
Paragon.
Do you remember when Monitor told Oliver...
That there are Paragons.
There are Paragons. Yeah, apparently Iris recruits the 7th.
Which ones as it was Flash and Arrow were 2 of them, right?
I don't know. I guess so.
I remember the Paragon speech, and I remember laughing because the only time outside of that context that I've ever heard the word Paragon was in a Nero Wolfe novel.
That's funny.
I swear the term went from the 1930s to now and nothing in between.
I don't know, man. I don't know why that is, but yeah, that's funny. I don't know what it means that she's going to find the 7th one. It's just a thing.
Well, cool. Good work.
Here's also something interesting. Someone asked Guggenheim, can you tease something about Laurel Lance in the crossover or her future spinoff? Guggenheim responds, Earth 1 Laurel in Crisis, Earth 2 Laurel in spinoff.
Oh, all right.
What the hell?
I think I dig that, though. Earth 2 is Laurel that we're seeing right now, right?
Yeah.
The one that he rescued from the White?
Yeah.
That's been my favorite Laurel so far.
Yeah, but Earth 1 Laurel is dead, so I guess it's going to be a time travel situation in Crisis.
Could be, unless she's a Paragon, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
Or, I mean, if it's Arrow, they bring people back that aren't really back all the time.
Mm-hmm. All right, so over to Arrow proper. Stephen Amell has rapped for Arrow. Aww. He says, words can't even begin to express what Arrow has meant to me. Best 8 years of my life. The cast and crew of the show have become my family. I'm going to miss them. I am wrapped. The Arrow producers shared a really heartfelt letter on the last day of production to the best cast and crew in the business. It's hard to believe that today is here, the final day of production on Arrow. We are so incredibly grateful to each and every one of you for helping us bring this show to life. What this accomplished is no small feat. 8 seasons, 170 episodes, a multiverse of TV shows, the biggest crossovers in television history, one incredible journey from beginning to end, all thanks to you and the countless others that have been a part of this show. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for being a part of Arrow's final story. It has been an honor.
Class act, that one.
Absolutely, and we have a release date for the Arrow series finale.
Series finale?
The Caesar finale.
Yeah.
Et tu, Guggenheim.
Mm-hmm.
The January 28th is going to be the last episode.
Okay.
2 weeks after the conclusion of Crisis on Infinite Earths.
I had wondered about that, but that makes sense. I mean, and Steven, being the softy that he is, was probably like crying onto his phone while he was trying to type that out.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. That's a I mean, hell, I've been in shows that were just in like high school shows, and you only work for a few months, and you still like get a little weepy at the cast party because you worked really hard on that shit.
Yeah.
I get it. Not demeaning that in any capacity. It's a good thing. But man, like he's right. I mean, I love that he took some time to like show the real breadth of it. He's absolutely right. There's so much came out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like to the extent that we're almost exhausted. I mean, we are exhausted constantly, but we're like, it's the closest I get to fatigue sometimes. When I'm like, the CW's doing what? Oh, another show. Okay, all right. I'll just add that to my agenda and go ahead and buy a lot of condoms because I'm not having another kid for sure at this rate.
Over for what I'm affectionately, at least mentally referring to as the Mayberry RFD of the Arrowverse, Green Arrow and the Canaries.
Nice.
The backdoor pilot will include Charlie Barnett, who is playing JJ Diggle Jr. / Deathstroke. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming he's going to be part of the series as well, whenever that's inevitably greenlit. Because we're not fooling ourselves anymore, are we?
No.
Anything that gets a pilot or even anything they say, hey, maybe we should make a show out of this, they just greenlight that shit.
Yeah, I don't think...
They just give it 13 episodes and add 3 by the end of the season.
Yeah, like if there is a red light at the CW, it's broken. Once something goes green, it's over.
Mark Pedowitz tried to have that shit one time with Supergirl, and he was like, I regretted it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so
and they
Flash...
just keep expanding how long they're willing to show us stuff in general. I mean, at some point, Pedowitz did say, like, we're not trying to exhaust anybody. And I kind of thought, thank you. That'd be great. It's like, we don't want to air 6 nights of superhero programming. I was like, yeah, I don't have time for that. Thank you. And, but what he's done instead, what he's done instead is he's traded 6 nights of because they opened up Sunday night, to their roster. Originally, they weren't doing Sunday night programming for like new programming at CW. And I'm like surprised they haven't done Saturday. Honest to God, I think the only reason they haven't done Saturday is college football and a couple other things like that. Mm-hmm. Like I genuinely think that because Saturday just has such a sports feel to it most of the time, that's what's keeping them. But other than that, they've already opened up summer. Like there's no real break in the CW schedule anymore.
Yeah,
it's we've traded 6 days a week for like 4 days the entire year.
Yeah, that's not a break.
It's not much of a break. No, there's like. I mean, at the current rate, the way we watch things and what we have on our schedule to watch, there's like, I don't know, 2 months out of the entire year where there's not something we're like in our queue that we're supposed to be catching up with.
I'm not saying I'm not enjoying it a big chunk of the time, but my asshole is reamed.
Yeah. I mean, I genuinely do generally enjoy a lot of what we see, but yeah, there are times where like, man, I'm beat. I got to go to bed. I don't have time. Yes, I want to watch the next one. I don't have time.
I'm a twitching, fidgeting mess.
I have to be at work in 6 hours. We're going to bed.
Just, hoping for an nice little quiet independent show on Netflix or something.
It's not even that. For me, it's like I'll have 30-minute comedies or something like Rick and Morty or Brooklyn Nine, like something that's just like, I just want to watch Superstore like for an hour and go to bed. That's what I need. I need a palate cleanser. We're going to watch Superstore. I'm like 5 behind. Let's do this.
Have you seen the new Rick and Morty?
Yeah, it was great.
It was great. I enjoyed it so much.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Flash.
There's our segment of us bitching about something we just said we were grateful for.
Absolutely.
Because we're us.
We're us.
Yeah.
Too much of a good thing.
A little bit. Yeah. And again, we live in rich and glorious times in certain ways. But after a while, you're like, I can't have any more red velvet cake right now. I just want a taco. Can I please just have a taco? Now you want red velvet cake and a taco, don't you?
Yep.
I'm
really hungry. All right.
Sorry.
I gotta go. So we're gonna power through this.
Let's do it.
The Flash has cast Natalie Dreyfus as Deuce Searborn. Deuce Searborn. There I go again. Sue Dearborn.
You got it.
Damn it.
Cool.
She's gonna be coming in on the back half of the season, post-crisis.
Mm-hmm. She's already been mentioned to some extent.
Yes, she has. The synopsis we have for her, or not the little synopsis, the character description we have, possessing a fierce intellect and a spitfire personality. Sue Dearborn is the daughter of one of Central City's most wealthy families, but there's much more to Sue than just the socialite reputation that always precedes her. which Master Detective Ralph Dibny will discover when they finally meet later this season.
Yeah,
Now,
he's been chasing that.
In the books, they get married.
Yeah, she is commonly known as Sue Dibny at this point.
Right. And she was the one who gets raped by Dr. Light and burned to death in Identity Crisis, right?
Yep.
All right. I thought
Presumably we're not going that dark.
I should hope not, even though Identity Crisis is a fantastic book.
It is. And we've opened up the crisis can of worms, but I just don't know if we're going to rape Sue Dibny and burn her alive.
Right.
Even on their worst day, I don't know if the CW's got that in them.
Yeah. DC Universe would.
DC Universe, maybe. Definitely. Now let's go with definitely.
They have said that Sawyer has said that this is going to play out a bit differently than it did in the comics.
Given what we just talked about, good.
Yeah. Now, that actress has been in the CW's The Originals, The Secret Life of the American Teenager, True Blood, and Will and Grace. So
I've presumably seen her somewhere, but
I'll
look her up later. Yeah. We're doing a speed, like a lightning round version of finishing up the news? So.
I think so, yeah.
Cool.
I thought we were.
We tried. It's a fits and starts thing.
We tried, yeah. Julia Pennyworth is coming to Batwoman.
Cool.
Daughter of Alfred there.
Nice.
Played by the Royals' Christina Wolfe. And being described as crafty and quick-witted British Secret Service agent who shares a complicated past with Kate Kane, which impedes her mission as the two set sights on the same target. I'm down with that. She was a character that's shown up in the comics from time to time, specifically Batwoman.
Mm-hmm.
So that works. And they have also she helped Kate take down many arms of death in the comics, and they have announced that they're introducing the comic book member, or the comic accurate member of the many arms of death, the rifle played by Garfield Wilson in the show. So they're doing that.
All right.
I'm enjoying Batwoman this season.
Yeah.
Or so far, I should say. It's only been one season.
For some reason, I feel like with Batwoman, they're eventually going to get to something like Intergang. It also feels like it would fit there really well.
Maybe.
But,
they've brought up Intergang on Supergirl.
They have. It's been mentioned before.
I'm assuming it'll go over to Superman as well. Intergang was always one of those groups that I never cared about.
Not too much, but I think it would be good for Batwoman. I think it'd be a good match. Just her taking on a crime syndicate? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I can see it. But I apparently thought I had way more than I did, because that's it.
Oh, okay. Well.
I was like, no, we got to get through this. This is like, there's a ton more. Oh, no, there was like 2 stories. Never mind.
False alarm.
I have had like 3 hours of sleep in the last 2 days, and I'm sick.
Yeah.
As soon as we stop recording, I've got to go to work.
That's awesome.
So.
Yeah. So just to snort some vitamin C.
Yeah.
Maybe mainline that if you got a needle hanging around.
I don't.
Yeah, you never got that far down the diabetes train.
Actually, you know what? I do have several needles.
Why?
Well, because right after I was diagnosed, for the first week, before they knew what version of it was, they gave me insulin
they gave you
shots.
A couple. I got you.
And I mean, they gave me a lot, and so I've just got a refrigerator full of insulin and a bunch of those little tiny needles.
Nice. Yeah.
But I've reversed the diabetes apparently entirely. I don't know. It's not a cure, but I'm still susceptible, obviously.
Yeah.
As I understand it.
But, your pancreas is back on its 2 feet, so that's good.
Right. So that's, solid, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
I mean, I know what I'm doing, other than I've got a lot of cleaning to do because it's a Sunday afternoon, and that's when that happens. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I'm going to go watch all those teasers. I don't know why I missed that. I knew about the one.
Yeah, I sent you some of them, and then I found more. I think the ones I sent you are missing the Arrow one, and maybe
I'll find them.
Batwoman.
I only have a brief memory of it. I think this is one of those things where I looked at my phone and thought, okay, great, and then forgot entirely, and just had gone on to the next thing by the time it was, I just completely slipped my mind after that. So now I got to go watch those. It kind of sounds great.
Yeah. My only issue with them is that they do this little graphic at the end where they show the Wave Rider flying through over the Crisis logo, and they have this cheesy whoosh sound over it, And it just looks like a bad Photoshop job of them just like having a picture of the Wave Rider flying over the graphic and with that stupid whoosh sound. Mm-hmm. It's like looking at something from Fox Kids back in the 90s.
Oh, that's bad.
It is bad. That is bad.
You know, I don't know that if we've ever looked into it, though. For these teasers, are they throwing it to a trailer house or are they in-house?
I don't know.
I mean, it's maybe worth investigating a little bit, but... Because every now and then I see something like that. It's like, oh man, that doesn't look great. And then I actually see the show and I'm like, oh, King Shark looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, that's it. That's all the things.
That's plenty of things. Go get to work so you can get some sleep.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. The collective you guys, not you, the individual, who I should be addressing this to. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to let that go.
Because that's a thing you read one time and now you beat yourself up over.
Oh, no. It's a thing that's constantly said. Like, I've read it several times and heard it several times on several different media marketing podcasts and how to podcast podcasts and all sorts of different things. Like, I've been reading it since, the old days when I did YouTube videos. Like, don't talk to you guys. Don't talk to the audience as a whole. You talk to you, the person, the one person who's sitting there, Yeah. I've never been able to wrap my brain around it. Just like, nope, gotta talk to you guys.
It works.
All of you guys.
It works for cult members too, or cult leaders too.
Oh my God.
It's the same instinct we're talking about here.
Yep. All right. I want to know how to warp a person's mind. All right, we gotta go. Until next time, release the Snyder Cut and keep some DC on your screen.
And I wish there were unicorns too.
Oh man, I think I'm rooting more. I think I'm rooting for it more just to prove you wrong.
I don't blame you. I probably would be too if I wasn't already so hunkered down in this position.
Don't die on this hill, man.
The thing is, I can't. It's hard. Like that you can't. Absence of evidence is not evidence. So me saying that something isn't, it's like the way science works when it's done correctly. I can only reject the null hypothesis. I can't be right. I can only be not wrong. And then this is also how science works. I can go immediately from not wrong to completely wrong and nothing really in between.
All right. You guys have a good week.
I'm going to stay on this hill.
Our intro music is by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Galactic Engineers of Magnetic Sounds, or GEMS, can be found on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. Visit DCOnScreen.com to find our Patreon, merch, contact information, and every episode of the show for free, including crossovers we've done with other podcasts. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. For more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, vlogs, parodies, and our improvised web series Hey Guy, visit maladjusted.tv.